All right, welcome to your deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about uh,
Yeah.
the biology of transcendence.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of
I
this?
have, yeah. Joseph Chilton Pearce.
By Joseph Chilton Pearce.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this book
Yeah.
because, well, first of all, I love the title. The biology of transcendence. It just sounds so
Right.
interesting, right? Like, how can our biology be the
Yeah.
thing that makes us transcendent?
Totally.
So,
Yeah. It blends the science
yeah.
and the spirituality.
Yeah, it's like the science of spirituality, right?
Right.
So I'm very excited.
Yeah. And it starts off with a very personal touch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The book's dedicated to Lucy Jane Whitehead,
Okay.
and it includes a quote by Thomas Wolfe.
Okay.
"O lost and by the wind grieved ghost, come back again."
Wow.
Yeah. So it seems like we're in for quite a journey.
I know. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
Um, the structure of the book is really interesting, too.
Right.
It's divided into three parts because we've got nature's transcendent biology, the anatomy of evil,
Oh,
and then beyond enculturation.
yeah. It's
So
very diverse.
I think we're going to be in for
Yeah.
a wild ride.
Well, in his acknowledgments, he thanks
Oh.
people and organizations like the Heart Math Institute and
Yeah.
the City Yoga Foundation. So it
I-
seems like he's pulling from a diverse
Yeah.
range of sources.
I'm excited. So he starts off with this preface called A Saga of Unconflicted Behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And he shares these stories from when he was younger.
Right.
And I guess...
Yeah, he calls this experience unconflicted behavior
Yeah.
because he claims fear just vanished.
Okay.
And that led to some extraordinary things happening.
Okay, so give me an example. Like what kind of...
So one of the most striking examples
Okay.
is when Pearce was 22.
Yeah.
He recounts having 3 precognitive experiences with his girlfriend
Oh, wow.
where he felt this profound sense of unity with her
Uh-huh.
that transcended the physical world. It seems that these early experiences
Right.
sparked his lifelong exploration
Yeah.
of human potential.
Okay, so this is pretty intense stuff already.
Right.
But then it gets even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about holding a lit cigarette to his skin
Right?
without any pain or injury.
Yeah.
So, like,
What do you make of that?
I don't know. Like, what is that all about?
Well, Pearce seems to suggest that fear, especially the fear of death,
Okay.
might be a major roadblock
Oh,
to accessing our full capabilities.
interesting.
Yeah. He even draws parallels to Carlos Castaneda's writings
Well, okay.
about challenging perceived limitations and the
Mhm.
nature of reality.
So by confronting fear, Pearce believes we can unlock these new
Oh, right.
possibilities.
And this theme continues with a story of scaling.
Oh, God.
A sheer cliff face,
Yep.
seemingly without any fear or effort.
Oh, my God.
And what's even more remarkable is that a friend later corroborated
Oh, wow.
this seemingly impossible feat.
So he really, like, defied gravity.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Okay, but it wasn't just physical feats.
Right.
He also talks about his experience
Yes.
balancing these complex financial accounts
Uh-huh.
with perfect accuracy,
Mm-hmm.
even though
Even though he hadn't followed standard procedures.
that's pretty crazy.
Right. It's like he was tapping into a
Mhm.
heightened state of awareness and
Yeah.
cognitive function.
Wow. But then he also...
But then he recounts a late night experience selling silver to a woman
Okay.
who seemed to be in an altered state,
Okay.
highlighting the potential for misuse
Yeah.
of such abilities.
Yeah, because he could have exploited this, but
He could have.
he chose not to.
Right. It makes you wonder about the ethical implications of accessing
Yeah.
such profound states of being.
Yeah, so it's like he could have gone down that road, but he didn't.
Absolutely. Pearce seems to be hinting that
Yeah.
true transcendence comes with a sense of responsibility. He seems more interested in understanding these abilities
Wow.
than exploiting them.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these personal anecdotes
Great.
setting the stage, but then he brings in this framework,
Mm-hmm.
the fourfold brain. So I'm guessing this is where the science comes in.
Definitely. Pearce builds upon the research
Right.
of neuroscientist Paul MacLean,
Okay.
who proposed that our brain isn't a single entity,
Right.
but a complex system made up of 4 distinct layers,
Okay.
each developed during different stages of evolution.
Okay.
You know, he even compares it to the Sphinx of Giza,
Oh, yeah, he
which
does.
is a pretty awesome visual.
It's so cool.
He describes how the Sphinx, originally a lion,
Okay.
representing the reptilian brain,
Yeah.
was later adorned with a human head
Yeah.
for the old mammalian brain,
Huh.
then a cobra hood
Yeah.
for the neocortex,
Right.
and finally a tiny serpent on top for the prefrontal cortex.
So like each layer adds...
Each layer builds upon the last,
Okay.
adding new dimensions to our capabilities.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so he explains that these layers interact in fascinating ways.
Yes.
So the reptilian brain...
So the reptilian brain, or R system, is the most primal part,
Okay.
responsible for basic survival instincts,
Okay.
like fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part of us that reacts instinctively to threats
Right.
without much conscious thought.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then,
So the old mammalian brain...
then comes the old mammalian brain,
Okay.
or limbic system,
Right.
which adds emotions, relationships, nurturing,
Okay.
and a more complex immune system.
Wow.
This is where our feelings, social bonds, and ability to learn and adapt come into play.
So we're starting to get more complex here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
The neocortex.
the neocortex.
Okay, so tell me about this.
That's the part of the brain
Okay.
that really sets humans apart.
Right.
The neocortex is responsible for analytical thinking, language, abstract thought, and problem solving.
So this is where we get all of our higher order thinking from.
Exactly. It's what allowed us to develop things like philosophy,
Well-
science, art, and technology.
But Pearce seems to be more interested in this prefrontal cortex.
Right. He sees the prefrontal cortex as the key to transcendence. It's the seat of higher order thinking,
Yeah.
creativity, moral reasoning, and our capacity for spiritual experiences.
Okay.
And interestingly, he points out that the prefrontal lobes have only been around for about 40,000 years.
That's pretty new.
Which is relatively recent in evolutionary terms.
Wow. So we're just in the beginning phases.
Yeah, so we're still in the early stages of understanding the
Yeah.
full potential of the prefrontal cortex.
What does he say about its development?
He emphasizes that nurturing and loving interactions,
Yes.
especially during childhood and adolescence,
Mm-hmm.
are crucial for healthy development.
Okay.
He highlights specific stages, like the primary stage. Mm-hmm.
From birth to age 4,
Okay.
and the secondary stage,
Mm-hmm.
starting around age 15.
And what about that missing stage?
And there's that intriguing missing stage around
Yeah.
age 21.
Yeah, that the researchers suggested.
Right, the one researchers Alexander and Langer
Yeah.
suggested might exist.
Oh, no. Seems like there's so much we don't know.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think about the possibilities
Yeah.
if we could fully understand and harness the power
Yeah.
of the prefrontal cortex.
But then he throws in another curveball, the heart's electromagnetic field.
Right.
I had no idea that was even a thing.
It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
Pearce reveals that the heart's electromagnetic field is actually 5,000 times stronger than the brain's.
That's amazing.
He cites research from the Heart Math Institute,
Okay.
which shows that positive emotions like love and compassion
Okay.
create coherence in our heart rhythms,
Okay.
influencing our brain and nervous system.
So our hearts and brains are in constant communication. Pearce even links this heart-brain connection
Oh, wow.
to the concept of unity,
Okay.
described by mystics like Meister Eckhart
Okay.
and Ibn Arabi.
So it's more than just the brain.
Yeah, it seems like we're moving beyond just the brain as the seat of consciousness and recognizing the heart's profound role.
This is getting deep.
Yeah, and then Pearce takes it even further
Okay.
with the idea of fields within fields.
Okay.
This is where things start to get really meta.
Okay.
Pearce is talking about these invisible organizing structures
Okay.
that contain information and possibilities, kind of like radio frequencies.
Okay.
He suggests that we can access these fields through resonance, similar to how a radio turns into...
So there's a whole other level of reality that we can't even perceive.
It's like a two-way street.
Okay.
We're influencing the field,
Okay.
and the fields are influencing us.
Okay, so this is...
He even talks about the power of the negative.
Okay, how negative experiences or judgments can make us more likely to perceive negativity in the world.
So it's like we're attracting what we focus on.
Exactly.
But it also suggests that we have the power to change that by changing our thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what he says about culture.
Right, that's what we'll pick up
Okay.
in the next part of our deep dive. Pearce dives into how culture, with all its rules, anxieties, and beliefs, creates a powerful field that shapes our development and behavior.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating exploration of how we're both shaped by and shaping these collective fields of influence.
This is blowing my mind already. I can't wait to continue.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for part 2,
Okay.
where we delve into the anatomy of evil
All right.
and explore how we can break free from limiting cultural conditioning to access our full potential.
Looking forward to it. We'll be back right after this. Okay, so in part 1, we were talking about all this like crazy stuff about the heart, the brain, feels.
Yeah, it's those feels within feels.
Yeah, so now Pearce is taking us to a kind of dark place.
Right.
The anatomy of evil.
A little darker territory, right?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he tackles this.
Well, he starts with a personal story.
Okay.
Recounting a childhood experience with night terrors.
Oh, wow.
He describes these overwhelming feelings of formless dread, a primal fear that seems to point to something deeper, something beyond just a bad dream.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have those like night terror experiences.
Yeah, and it really makes you think,
yeah,
what is that?
Yeah.
What is that all about?
But then he also talks about his initial attraction to the church.
Right.
Like he was looking for meaning.
Searching for meaning and transcendence, but later feeling disillusioned by its dogma and control.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that, right?
Yeah, a lot of people have that experience of seeking something more.
Yeah.
But finding it overshadowed by these rules and power structures.
It's like that organized religion.
Yeah.
Didn't quite hit the spot.
Right. He's looking for that direct experience.
Yeah.
It seems like Pearce is suggesting that true transcendence can't be found solely within these external systems or institutions. He's pointing towards a deeper, more personal connection with our own inner wisdom and potential. So then he kind of goes into this idea of enculturation.
Okay, so tell me about this.
You know, like how we're shaped by the beliefs, values, and behaviors of the society we grew up in.
So he's saying that this process can actually...
He suggests that this process... while crucial for social cohesion, can also create a disconnect from our authentic selves.
It's like we're putting on this artificial self?
Almost like an artificial self.
Right. Do you think he's saying that's necessarily a bad thing?
I don't think so. I think he recognizes that enculturation is essential for any society to function.
Right.
But he's also highlighting how it can sometimes limit our full potential and lead to a sense of separation from our true nature.
And this is where he starts talking about the cultural conditioning.
That's where his critique of cultural conditioning comes in.
Yeah, he talks about how fear and negative reinforcement.
Right. He talks about this constant barrage of NO in childhood.
Yeah, like don't do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't touch that.
It makes sense that this can create this deep-seated sense of fear and shame that can stay with us throughout our lives.
It's like we internalize that.
Right. And he's not just talking about parenting, though.
Okay.
Pearce is pointing to this larger societal pattern, you know, like a collective neurosis.
Oh, driven by fear, scarcity, and separation.
Okay.
So he suggests that this pattern is reinforced not just by parents, but by institutions like schools, churches, governments, and even the media.
So we're all kind of...
Yeah, it's a pretty bold claim.
Yeah, but it's like we're all participating in these
we're all participating.
systems, right?
Yeah.
Without even realizing it.
Sometimes without even realizing it.
Yeah. But then he offers this way out.
Right. He doesn't leave us with this bleak picture.
Okay.
He offers this path beyond enculturation.
So what is that?
Well, he shares his personal experiences with mystical states of consciousness, describing a profound sense of unity and interconnectedness, even a merging of masculine and feminine energies.
So he's saying that transcendence is about...
It sounds like he's pointing towards a direct experience of transcendence, something that goes beyond just intellectual understanding.
Or following a set of rules.
So how do we actually do that?
Right. How do we break free from the limitations of our cultural conditioning?
And like access...
And access this deeper level of awareness. Pearce's answer might surprise you.
Okay, what is it?
Play.
Play.
But not just any kind of play. He's talking about play as a fundamental mode of being, a state of joyful exploration, free from judgment and fear.
That sounds nice.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He believes that play is the language of the heart, allowing us to tap into our creativity, intuition, and innate wisdom.
But do you think that that's something we can cultivate?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And that's where Pearce gets really practical.
Okay.
Offering suggestions on how to cultivate a more playful approach to life.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't come naturally at first.
Yeah, because like we are kind of conditioned.
We are conditioned.
Yeah, to be serious. And yeah, he talks about spending time in nature, engaging in creative activities, and simply making time for things that bring us joy.
But it seems like it would require a shift in mindset.
It requires letting go of the need to control everything, to be perfect, to always be right.
It's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about embracing the unknown, allowing ourselves to make mistakes, and finding joy in the process of discovery.
So he's advocating for...
It sounds like he's advocating for a more heart-centered way of living.
Yeah.
A way of being that's more aligned with our true nature as creative, compassionate, and interconnected beings.
And it's great that he's backing it up.
Right. And Pearce doesn't just offer this as a philosophical ideal. He grounds it in science. Drawing on research from fields like neuroscience, evolutionary biology, and even quantum physics.
So he's saying that our brains...
So he's not just saying, be more playful.
Right.
He's showing us how our brains and bodies are actually wired for play, and how this playful energy can unlock our potential for transcendence.
He's bringing science and spirituality together.
Exactly. And this is where Pearce's work becomes truly groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, he's bridging that gap between science and spirituality, showing us how these two seemingly disparate realms can actually work together.
It's like a whole new...
It's like he's offering us a new map of reality.
Yeah, a new way of...
One that includes both the material and the spiritual, the rational and the intuitive.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear what else he has to share.
Me too.
Yeah, stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive into the biology of transcendence. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive into the biology of transcendence. So we've covered like a lot of ground: the fourfold brain, the power of the heart,
the importance of play.
Right. Now Pearce is going to be introducing us.
He introduces us to
Margarita Lasky's 6-step process for creative breakthroughs, which she describes in her book.
She describes in her book Ecstasy, a study of some secular and religious experiences.
I am so ready for this. Like, walk me through it.
Okay, so it's a fascinating addition to our deep dive because it offers a practical framework for accessing those aha moments, you know, those flashes of insight that can change our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
So what is the first step?
The first step is simple. Ask a question.
But not just any question.
But not just any question. It has to be a question that truly ignites your curiosity. Something that you're genuinely passionate about exploring.
So like that thing that keeps you up at night.
Exactly. Once you have that question. The second step is to actively search for an answer.
So you're going to dive into the research.
Exactly. You're going to dive into research, explore different perspectives, and really wrestle with the complexities of the topic.
And I'm guessing there's a point where you're going to hit a wall.
That's step 3. Reaching a plateau.
So you're feeling stuck.
Right. It's that frustrating phase where you feel stuck, like you've exhausted all your resources. And the answer...
I feel like this is where a lot of people give up.
And that's where a lot of people would give up. But Lasky suggests we push through even when it feels hopeless.
So how do we do that?
That's the key. Step 4 is giving up hope.
Give up hope. Giving up hope.
So we're like surrendering at this point.
It's about surrendering to the unknown, releasing the need
for a specific outcome and trusting that the answer will reveal itself.
Wow, this is hard.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, in our culture, that's like the opposite.
It is. In a culture that values control and quick results, it can be really hard to surrender.
But what happens when we do surrender?
That's when the magic happens.
Tell me about the magic.
Step 5 is breaking through. It's that sudden flash of insight, the eureka moment.
So it's like we're just getting out of our own way.
Right. It's like the solution was there all along. But we couldn't see it until we let go of our preconceived notions and expectations.
I like that. But there's one more step, right?
Yes. The final step is all about translating that insight into a form that can be shared with others.
So taking what we've learned.
It's about taking that internal revelation and making it accessible to the world.
Right. So like Pearce gives some great examples.
Yeah, like William Hamilton's discovery of quaternions after years of wrestling with mathematical concepts.
Or Auguste Kekule.
And Auguste Kekule's breakthrough with the structure of benzene.
Yeah.
Which was famously inspired by...
That was a crazy story.
A dream of a snake biting its own tail.
Yeah. So it seems like this process isn't just for scientists or mathematicians.
Pearce argues that this 6-step process applies to all areas of life.
Yeah.
From personal growth to relationships to social change.
So it's like a fundamental pattern.
It's a fundamental pattern of how we access different levels of understanding and bring those insights into the world.
This is so cool because it means that, like, anybody listening can have this.
Right. It suggests that we all have the capacity for these aha moments.
I love it.
These flashes of insight that can transform our lives.
Yeah, and Pearce even links this back to...
Exactly, and Pearce links this process back to the concept of transcendence.
Okay, tell me more.
He suggests that these breakthroughs, these moments of revelation, are glimpses into a deeper reality that's not bound by our everyday perceptions.
It's like we all have this potential.
It's like we're all capable of tapping into this source of wisdom, this field of infinite potential.
Okay, so then, like, why is there so much suffering?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there are no easy answers.
I guess not.
But perhaps by understanding our own biology of transcendence, by exploring these pathways to deeper awareness and connection,
we can change the world.
We can start to shift the balance to create a world that reflects our true potential.
I love that. That was beautiful.
It's a hopeful note to end on.
It is. Well, thank you for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you.
Into the biology of transcendence.
And for you listening, remember to keep asking those big questions.
Yeah.
Keep playing. Keep seeking those aha moments.
Yes.
And keep trusting in your own
Love it.
innate capacity for transcendence.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.